What is the most powerful force on the planet? Is it money? Is it love? Is it energy? No, it's sound. Sound is the greatest way to soothe someone. It's also the greatest way to torture someone. If this video didn't have good sound, you wouldn't listen to it for a second. If it had bad visuals and good sound, you could watch it for an hour. Sound is used by every major religion to tap into forces beyond this world. Sound isn't just powerful, it's all-powerful, and you're about to be introduced to sound like you've never heard it before. This goes back to ancient times. Moses and Jesus both went to a particular school. They don't talk about it in their Bibles, but their attendance at this school is a matter of historical fact. It's also a matter of historical fact that what they learned there was their source of incredible power. I'm going to tell you what that school was, where it is, and why it's still in existence today, and how even today it's attended by the most rich and powerful human beings on the planet. Some of them are trillionaires, but you won't hear of them on the Forbes list. No, these people don't care for fanfare. They just want to use their power for their own greedy desires. I went on a dangerous trek to find out what this school was teaching, and, as it turns out, what they teach is sound. Sound can give you every little thing you want in your life, including more energy, better dates, vibrant health. It's even the cure for many diseases. It will give you that glow some people seem to have naturally, but no one has the sounds I'm going to share with you today. Welcome aboard. You have no idea how big this moment is. You have to understand that until today, this key had to go underground. Because if you're not initiated, like I will show you, the power of the key could be very dangerous. It has created some of the worst cult leaders, dictators, and drug-addicted celebrities who use this power for their own greedy needs. We will be sure that doesn't happen to you. We will be sure you use this key for the service of mankind, which is what it is already doing. Wondering why people say the Illuminati are so powerful? You're about to find out that it's because they have this key, and they're not letting go of it. I'm trying to stay off their bad side, but they're watching me very closely, making sure I don't say too much. But this is a historical moment, because for the first time in history, a regular gal like me has the key. And now, the 39-year-long learning curve is cut down to 120 seconds. All you need is a pair of working ears and 120 seconds a day for the most relaxing and rejuvenating process you will feel reverberating through your being for hours on end that will automatically draw your dreams closer to you in every aspect of life until your life is so good, you're going to spend every day saying, "It's enough already. I have enough." This 120-second secret is more powerful than anything that could ever be. Because it works so fast, you will be able to actually see the changes in your life happen before the 120 seconds are up. Before I launched this website, I had personally been accosted by thousands of men and women to teach what I'm about to teach you. People are literally throwing money at me if I would just tell them what turned little old me into a human dynamo, philanthropist, and magnate. Just watch this video until the end, and you must watch it until the end, because there you get the key for free. I'm Rena Bogart, and if you had told me 5 years ago I'd be here teaching people how to better their lives, I would have laughed at you, because my life sucked in a big way until recently. But that's just what makes the winding tale you're about to hear so interesting. This isn't an easy story to tell. In fact, it breaks my heart into pieces every time I tell it. But I figure if I'm going to take you out of your mess, you should at least know how I got out of mine. And by the way, every word of this story is true. I've gone over it hundreds of times to ensure there isn't the slightest misunderstanding possible, so you know exactly what occurred. I'm not an actor, nor a guru. I'm a mom of 4, coming to you from Austin, Texas. This is where I used to live, and here is where I live now. Yes, we live pretty large these days. I never dreamed I'd live in a place like this even when I was 6 years old. I live with my husband, Steve, and our dog Shade, along with an Olympic-sized pool, 5 horses on our ranch, a home theater, and home gym. We often say it's like we have our own city, Bogartville. It's expensive to keep up, but that's the price you pay to live in the lap of luxury. We have been independently wealthy for 2 years now, ever since that key came into my life. It all happened pretty fast. The mansion was Steve's idea. I could live in a shoebox if I had to, but my husband doesn't need to work. I don't need to work, so we figured we better enjoy the home we'll be in all day. All I do all day now is tell people about this key. I shout it from the rooftops to whomever will listen. Well, that and keeping the maids from tucking in the sheets too tight. As I look back on how I got here, I can't believe how easy it actually was once I had that key. It was almost like wealth just came to me, like all those law of attraction gurus say it would. Unfortunately, those guys have no idea what they're talking about, so it never happens for you. But you found the right thing now, though. I'll give you a tip. If someone is teaching you supposedly secret knowledge, and you can find it on Google or YouTube, then it's not really secret knowledge. I could say a lot more, but I don't want to tick off my competitors. The truth is a tough burden to bear, but the results are undeniable. Who was I before all this happened? Well, I can't say it was roses. I used to suffer from depression. I had episodes that left me under my blankets for days at a time. I couldn't be there for my husband. I couldn't be there for my kids. I needed someone to lean on. I didn't have the strength for anyone to lean on me, but everyone was leaning on me anyway. Steve became Mr. Mom and was packing sack lunches at 8 a.m. I'd be there in bed when he came back from work, and he didn't know how much more of this he could take. To be perfectly honest, as much as I didn't want to admit it, my marriage was falling apart. I'd regularly catch him looking at other women's tight behinds, and he banned me from seeing his cell phone, which I knew was a very bad sign. But I almost felt to blame. It wasn't just how I was acting, it was also how I looked. Fast food seemed to help with my depression, so I ate stuff like I was in a competition. I had a pregnant belly when I wasn't pregnant, and everyone, and I mean everyone, seemed to have it better than I did. So now you're starting to see the picture. I was a failure at weight loss and a failure at marriage, and now you're going to hear how I also sucked at friendships, self-esteem, and money. Yep, I checked all the boxes. My girlfriends stopped calling me when they were going out. I guess they got sick of me not picking up the phone. I always had low self-esteem, got hung up about my jagged teeth since 4th grade, which I could never afford to get fixed. Never could go out in a bathing suit. So I married down when all my girlfriends were marrying up. It's not like my husband is a loser. He just didn't make much money. He worked for a local credit union, but when he refused to get vaccinated, he was handed his walking papers. He got no warning. He would have reconsidered the matter if they had told him, but they just got rid of him like a bad habit. He's never been out of work, and I was volunteering in my spare time as a crisis interventionist. I made no money, obviously, and now he was making no money. We can't both be volunteers and pay the bills, so what were we going to do? I started running the numbers, and then I started to panic. I knew our mortgage was $1,200 a month, food $500 a month, private school another $1,000 per month. How are we going to keep up with those bills with no income? Those damned envelopes kept on coming, and they got nastier and scarier and thicker every time I checked the mail. For a while, I actually stopped checking the mail completely because I couldn't take that sinking feeling the mail gave me. Don't try that at home. I regretted that. No matter how bad it gets, always check your mail. Meanwhile, my husband is looking for jobs in the banking industry, but no one is hiring. We missed 1 month's mortgage, then 2 months, then 3 months. We were seriously considering what we'd do if we got kicked out of the house. We'd have to move in with his parents. I remember one morning, Katy Perry was blasting, and I was sobbing on the bed, depressed and hopeless. I just wanted to run away, prayed for God to give me a sign. And he did. He sent me a real ray of sunshine. In fact, something happened that day that would change everything for me forever. Steve got a check in the mail from a dividend stock he owned. The company split or something, but it was for $2,200. We were overjoyed, and now the question was, what to do with it? I said, let's pay some bills. Steve says to me, honey, let's think about this. We weren't expecting this. This is found money. Putting it towards bills is like putting it in a garbage disposal. It's going to get eaten up immediately. Why not do something that will change our lives? I know the only thing that really makes you happy is travel. I say, we use this money to send you wherever you want to go for 2 weeks. I'm sure you'll come back a new person, and by then, I probably will have found a job. This sounded crazy enough to work. Maybe if I just got out, I would see the situation in a new light, I thought. Maybe a trip was just what I needed to get out of this mess, and boy, was that hope going to come true. But where should I go? I knew I could get excited by anything as long as it's not here. We talked and drank over it. Maybe we had 1 glass of wine too many because we settled on an idea most people would think is plain nuts. So even though it seems ridiculous, I promised you the truth. So this is the truth. We would just spin the globe and stopped it with a finger, and whatever country I was pointing at would be the place I would fly. Kind of like pin the tail on the donkey without the donkey. We had a globe on our living room table. He said, this is it. You sure you want to do this? I said, I'm sure. He spun. I closed my eyes. Around and around she goes. I put my finger out and stopped the globe. I take a look. My finger landed on southern Egypt. How lucky is that? I had always wanted to go to Egypt. I was so pumped. I started to pack, and I really felt alive for the first time in years. If you learn nothing else from this video, learn this. If you're in a rut, go travel. You will see everything from a new perspective. What awaited me in Egypt was something way beyond what we would consider normal. I was about to discover something from a very secretive group that would blow the law of attraction out of the water. I'm talking about the real secret to getting what you want without any effort. In fact, your dreams come to you on a silver platter. In other words, your dreams chase you. You don't chase your dreams. And no, it's not meditation or affirmations or goal setting or positive thinking or aligning your chakras, horoscopes, tarot cards, mantras, gurus, or anything like that. This was completely different and very, very new to me, while in fact, it was very, very old. Once I had this key, everything around me transformed from the deepest part of myself, which was now singing, but singing in a way that connected with the clouds in the sky and the butterfly on the tree. The whole universe suddenly was like a loving old friend that just couldn't wait to shower me with kisses and all the best life had to offer. The only word I can use to describe it is total oneness. And when it happened to me, I understood history like I never had before. I came to realize what made great men great and what made regular men be able to do miracles. Think about it. Moses parted water. Jesus walked on water. Aristotle was behind the biggest world conquest in history, known as the Wars of Alexander the Great. Their minds were unlike anyone's in history before or after, and all these men had something in common. They all studied in the mystery schools in Egypt. This is a fact you can verify online easily. Moses grew up in Pharaoh's home, who was the leader of the mystery school sciences, and both Jesus and Aristotle are documented as having made trips to Egypt for spiritual enlightenment. And the same school exists today, teaching the same knowledge. And somehow, every time somebody went there, they came back able to attract thousands of followers and millions of dollars almost immediately. Well, in the case of the first two, they were able to do incredible miracles, miracles which they used to help millions of people. These men obviously know something we don't, and it definitely came from these Egyptian mystery schools. What they teach is not on the internet or in any book in bookstores. And yet, this was clearly the most powerful wisdom on the planet. I wanted what they had. I also wanted to be more powerful and be so loving that I attracted people to me, to have some sort of good luck that will bring happy events into my life instead of just another credit card bill. Wouldn't it make sense to find out exactly what this knowledge is? I thought so, because if you can think like they do, you can get what they have. And I can now say this knowledge does work. I am living proof. Since I studied there, I have personally amassed over 300,000 Twitter followers, and I dominate nearly all the other social media platforms. Jesus never reached near that many people in his lifetime. But I had their secret knowledge in 2022, at which point it stopped being a secret. I learned that you have to be on the inside to get it, but that's exactly what I did. I made it inside. Once you have this key, the beautiful thing is there's no more guesswork. You don't have to pray for something good to happen in your life. This works automatically, and it works every time. I can set my clock to it. There is just one thing you need to do for all the sudden money-making opportunities to appear. Do this one thing, and all of a sudden you feel like dieting and going to the gym. All of a sudden, the opposite sex is approaching you and asking you out on dates. Self-esteem? Through the roof. Anxiety? Thing of the past. Do those changes interest you at all? Keep watching with all your focus because I will reveal exactly what you need to do. That means taking the dog outside, telling your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend not to bother you until you get up. Clear out all the clutter in your brain and just be an empty vessel for the riveting story that's about to make you get up and cheer. Here we go. I know when I talked about the miracles of these great men, some of you rolled your eyes. You don't believe in miracles. And I don't blame you. I used to think that anything spiritual was just folly. But when I saw miracles done in front of my eyes, from the exact people who were said to do it in the Bible, I knew something bigger was going on here. If you haven't looked into mystical traditions, you may consider ancient Egypt as a little more than a place of pagan worship, strange hieroglyphics, and monuments erected by thousands of Hebrew slaves. But those who know better know that Egyptian ancient wisdom is alive and well today, and is being studied by philosophers, rabbis, priests, imams, Hollywood starlets, as well as secret societies like the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and the Knights Templar. So I figured when I went, I could find out what's going on in those mystery schools. If anything had the possibility, I knew this had the possibility to pull my household out of the mess it was in. So I began my trek. I was off to a bad start because I got food poisoning on the plane. Not fun. But nothing was going to stop me from getting to the bottom of what made a good life. Don't get the salmon. The whole time I was there, I felt this strange pull towards these mystery schools, and I felt like I had endless energy to try and find them. I was going to get inside one of these mystery schools or die trying. My first touristy stop was the pyramids at Giza. Tons of tourists there. I knew it was pointless to ask them for information, but I also knew tour guides would have some clues. These guys were practically historians. Surely they would know something about the mystery schools that Jesus and Moses went to. To my surprise, most of them did not know a thing about it. They said it was some kind of myth. I thought, wow, this secret has been kept pretty well. Even the experts on Egypt don't know about them, or those who knew didn't want to talk about it. I only found one tour guide with a nice smile who was willing to share with me how to get there. He told me to beware, that they're not that open to women, so don't get my hopes up. Well, that just made me even spunkier. I just knew I would be able to get in, even if I was the first woman to do it. He pointed in one direction and said, 155 kilometers that way on camelback. I said, thanks, that's all I needed to know? He said, you're not really going to do that, are you? Watch me. I had never ridden a camel before, but I got good at it real fast. Mind you, I did this on the idea that a mystery school exists there, on the hopes that I would find it, and on the dream that they would actually let me in and teach me something. I knew the odds were against me, but I was all in. I turned on my VPN and rode 155 kilometers on the iPhone GPS, got there, and I still didn't see anything. Funny thing, I wasn't even tired. I was happy to do this, just like you don't get tired of counting your money. No school, though. After a few hours, a Bedouin came by. I tracked him down and asked him where the mystery school was. He pointed southeast, 1 kilometer down, he said. So I did, just like he said. That's when something came into vision. I thought I was seeing a mirage. It was a cave, and I stood there at the mouth of it. I came closer and closer in, which led me to see that there were hieroglyphics all over the inside of the cave walls. These must be thousands of years old, I thought. I couldn't believe the fine detail of these hieroglyphics, and I also had no idea what they were saying. But wait, I could hear chanting coming from below the cave. I peeked in a little more, and I saw men in suits all bowing down to this big statue, which looked like a pharaoh with a bird face. This was too weird. How the hell was I going to approach these bird worshippers? How would I come to know what they know? That was when an 11-year-old kid climbed up to where I was, saw me, and said, "Psst, what are you doing here?" he asked. He was very mature for his age. I told him I wanted to learn from the mystery school, but he said that women are not allowed. I know, but I thought I'd try. How did you get here? He questioned further. I went 155 kilometers from Cairo by camelback, I replied with a tinge of pride in my tone. You came all this way to study here? He sounds astonished. I nodded. In 50 years, we've never had anyone find our location, he mumbled. You must be a very dedicated young lady. Hold on. He went down, talked to some man, probably his father, and came back to me saying that you can sit in the back of the room and listen to what he has to say for 20 minutes once the service is over, but that's all they'll allow. I asked him about the guy, and he said the guy is their leader. In a moment, I'm going to share with you exactly what I learned there from their leader that day. But the truth is, you don't need to know what he said. What you need to know is what he did, and I can provide that for you exactly as it was. After the speech, he took out some kind of tuning fork and gave a whack with some kind of flat turkey baster type contraption. The sound rang out strong and echoed through the cave. Then he took out another metal stick that echoed through the cave, harmonizing perfectly with the first one. He did this 8 times. This sound that resulted immediately possessed me. I cannot describe to you what this sound did to my body. All I can say is I felt electrified. It was like my entire body had a giant off switch that is now turned on. I had energy, but I wasn't jittery. I felt warm, peaceful, and happy. Was I in heaven? I thought. And it wasn't going away. It seemed to take like a permanent hold on me, and more than anything, I felt like I could do anything. All my problems at home just seemed so small. I knew exactly what I needed to do about all that stuff, and I just knew it was going to resolve itself completely and naturally. I never felt so good in my entire life, not my wedding day or even my wedding night. I don't want to get graphic, but let's just say there's a sexual component there that I cannot describe either. I had no doubt that what I had just heard could heal just about anyone of just about anything. Money problems, weight problems, self-esteem issues, even sexual issues, and mental illness. I honestly felt this auditory experience could wipe them all out in a single bang of that fork. I spoke to the kid again. What do you call what you just did? Oh, that? That is the mystery school code. That is what we figured out through 5,000 years of testing. It's just gotten more and more powerful every year. And now I know the frequency Jesus used to do his miracles, and now anyone can have it. He shared, beaming with pride at their amazing discovery. They will tell you the power could be used to do very destructive things, that it could be incredibly dangerous. This is a lie. These guys are all big liars, especially my dad. This is how they keep it to themselves. I've never seen it do anything but good for people. If you knew who these people really were, you would never respect them as you do now, he said with a frown. Take the mystery school code with you and share it with the people you come from. I gave him a wink and said, I already have. See, I had been recording everything on my phone, and I had immediately sent it to Steve. On the plane ride back, I realized what I needed to do. A phone recording wouldn't have the same effect, but all I needed was to get this analyzed by a sound engineer. And when I had it analyzed and recreated, I would have a 5,000-year-old secret on my computer ready to share with the world. If they come after me for this, I'll at least go down a hero. But holding on to it without sharing with anyone else is simply not an option. With the help of a few friends who were positively mesmerized by what I played for them on my phone, we were able to hire the best in the business, Rick Scolflin. You may have heard of him. He used to mix for Metallica and currently works with Sony Records. He caught on to the mystery school code really fast, knew exactly what needed to be done. "Where did you get that?" he asked. "That's some pretty high-level stuff. What do you call it?" "It's the mystery school code." "Well, yes, that's the right term for it." He chuckled. "This can really shake up the world, you know that." "That I'm sure of," I thought to myself with a sneaky grin. "Can you replicate it?" He went to work, and when we came back to him the next day, he said he needed more time. He wanted to get it just right. So he took another 48 hours before he came back and said, "This is the mystery school code. Now everyone can have it." He played the track, and what rang out reminded me of what I heard in that cave. It was just as powerful, just as pure, just as pristine. Everyone felt amazing as the frequency rang out. You know what it's like when you get a high in a drum circle? That's how it felt, but it lasted for hours. "Here it is," Rick said as he handed the USB to me. "It's all on this USB, and it's yours. Be careful with it, though," he warned me. "That could be used for some bad purposes." When I got home, Steve was beaming. Apparently, a few days after I left for Egypt, Steve got an offer from Bank of America, and they're hiring him right away. That is great news. "When did the offer come in?" I asked. He said, "It's really weird. It was right after you sent me that frequency on your phone. What was that?" A smile crept up my face. "You have no idea." This sound was already transforming my life. Our money troubles were over, and my depression had turned into incredible joy. If I felt I was becoming even a little depressed, I would just play the track and felt like $1,000,000 once again. It was like a gun that I needed to reload every 6 hours or so, but those 6 hours are more pleasurable than all the pleasure in 2 weeks in my old life. My friends got a copy, hit play, and they said they never felt so good. One of them said, "I've got to go to the gym to get this energy out," and she went and lifted 10 pounds more than her previous max. They also had a lot of stories of money basically falling from the sky. Promotions at their husband's work, unexpected checks, and one even won 100 grand at a lottery. They would play the sound for their baby, and she would sleep right through the night. Dogs would calm down and sit. They said, "This is better than a babysitter and better than sex." They also said their cravings have curbed. They suddenly felt no hesitation about going on and sticking to their diets. It was easy, they said. There are so many stories, but let's just hear from someone who just got the audio yesterday. "Rena, you are my angel. You had quite a trip, but let me tell you, it was well worth it. I used to have bad anxiety. Now I play the track and I feel calm and peaceful. My boss called me into his office and gave me a huge compliment and said that I'm up for another promotion. My husband is looking at me differently now. Our sex life has completely turned around. And this is just day one. I don't know how this frequency works. I just know I will never stop listening to it, and I will never stop sharing it with friends. This is literally saving lives." What about Martin B.? "I don't like to talk about this, but I have erectile dysfunction. We've been going to urologists and nothing helped. Then I got the mystery school code, I turned it on, and I shot up like an arrow. This has possibly saved my marriage. Thank you, Rena, for your sacrifice in getting this sound." Elizabeth Traynor, Lancaster, PA said, "This sound has been the best thing that ever happened to our household. We are all just getting along much better. My daughter used to give me a lot of sass. Now she's a pleasure to be around. We all sit around the speakers and listen to the sound for several minutes. It's like we're hooked on it. And this is one addiction I'm never giving up. It's so powerful. It's a little scary. I could see how people could use this for evil purposes, but I think if enough of us good people are using it, we will change the world for the better." Words of the Mystery School Code went viral, and I knew I had to make a website for it, which is the website you're on now. With this website, I can do several things. I can make an income. Audio engineers and programmers are not free. I can keep tabs on people to make sure they don't use it for evil. I can ensure the Mystery School Code never gets corrupted. Already we've had several people try to make their own imitations of the Mystery School Code. Now with my website, I stomp that out real quick. I can get documented fantastic success stories from people who have tried the Mystery School Code. And it's from here, right now, that I'm pleased to offer you the Mystery School Code straight out of ancient Egypt in 2022. I want you to remember one important thing. The people who use this today have been working on controlling their appetite since they were 20. That means you need to have a certain reverence, and when you use this, treat it with respect and keep a close eye on any negative appetites in your soul that want to come out because of this incredible power that you now have. Beware of arrogance and lust. These are the two problems that we see happening with the frequency, and whatever you do, don't start any cults. If you do it right and you go in with good intentions, you will come out of it a much better person who will help many other people become better. Because once you feel as good as this makes you feel, you'll want to help other people, which will make you feel even better. You can tell by the end of this video that I made it with joy, and that joy is 100% due to the frequency. I only hope this website stays up long enough for you to be able to try it. Those bird worshiper guys are all billionaires and some are trillionaires. They can stomp me like an ant when they want to. But I'll keep doing this until that day arrives because once this is on Good Morning America, there's no point in stopping me. The cat will already be out of the bag. What we've done is turned it into this program called the Mystery School Code. When you get into the members area, you will be able to access the Mystery School Code right away. That will come with instructions that help you get the most out of the frequency. This is collective wisdom based on testing with hundreds of thousands of people. It will also ensure you only use it for good. But there's more. Also in the members area is the secret knowledge of the mystery schools. We will have a few modules examining the history of the mystery schools, touching on topics regarding your soul, the afterlife, and how to make miracles. You will really know what Jesus knew, the exact same knowledge 2,000 years later, and that's an incredible feat. What does the Mystery School Code cost? What do you think it should cost? How can you put a price on a life changed? So we won't put a price on it. All we can do is make sure this exchange is fair. All we can do is make sure no one is being taken advantage of. Now, I don't need more money, but I do have employees who need to get paid so they can eat. I also pay to keep improving on the Mystery School Code, and that's very pricey. Everyone will walk away happy. So it's not going to be $197, even though that's the original price when I first started selling it. We're not even going to charge $127, even though that's practically giving it away. We're not even going to charge $97, which frankly is insane. But no, we're only going to charge you $39 for the most powerful frequency known to man, the Mystery School Code. The frequency that will turn your life right side up, put you on the path to greatness, put you on a path to thousands of followers worshiping you, wanting the energy that you've got. And you'll have it to give it because the more of it you give, the more you get. Ever feel really good doing something for someone else? It's a funny thing. You're working so you should get tired, right? But the opposite happens. You become more energized. That's what it's like sharing the Mystery School Code. And this is the key to not turning this into something evil. Use it to help other people, not to just grow your own power. Your life will just grow and grow in quality and in joyfulness. No obstacles will seem insurmountable. This will be the best thing that happened to you in your life, just as it has been for myself and hundreds of thousands of students. Let's talk about our return policy because it is the most generous in the business. You have 365 days to decide if you want to keep the Mystery School Code. Try out the frequency. Try out all the frequencies. Knock yourself out. We don't care. We just want you to be happy. So shoot an email to us if you're not satisfied and we'll return every penny. We'll do it within 48 hours. Do you realize what this means? It means there's absolutely no reason to resist the urge to get your copy of the Mystery School Code. No catch whatsoever. You don't have to say yes. You just have to say, I'll give it a shot and get my money back if I'm not happy. I'm not going to twist your arm. I'm not going to use any smooth marketing tactics to get you to buy this thing. I'm going to speak to you as one person to another, heart to heart. I've lived my life without Mystery School Code, and I've lived my life with Mystery School Code. And I can tell you, this is the most significant change that will happen to you in your life for your entire life. That's right. I'm telling you, you will never get a chance like this again. For anxiety, for weight loss, for energy, for happiness. As I said, there are a lot of people who would like to see this website come down. Powerful people. I'm also getting hit from other so-called manifestation gurus spreading lies about me on social media. Why? Because they can't compete with the Mystery School Code on a level playing field. So I cannot guarantee our site will be up another week or even another day. The fact is, you're here now, and I believe that's fate. I believe you came here for a reason. You clicked on the link to this page for a reason. You watched this video until the end for a reason. Because the Mystery School Code is meant for you. I created it just for people like you. So don't hesitate. This is the time for action, not hesitation. You can hesitate yourself right out of a good life if you're not careful. It happens to people every day. It's like you've got gold and diamonds on the other side of a fence and you're hesitating about climbing the fence. Climb that fence, folks. It's going to be like a B12 shot to your future. Hit the button now, and I'll see you on the other side. If I just played the Mystery School Code to you right now, you wouldn't pay anything for it. You would know how it makes you feel, and, like me, you would instantly realize how small your problems actually are. But I can't play it for you now. It's too important to give away. So you'll have to invest a little, and I really mean a little. Think of every good thing that ever happened to you in your life. The beauty pageant, the football victory, the acing of the SATs, or even finding your spouse. Didn't all of those things take investment of your time, money, and energy? Does anything good come for free? Of course not. So let's not be ridiculous, because I'm freaking guaranteeing this thing so far that it's practically guaranteed in your afterlife. Just hit the button and fill out the form. This is your life we're talking about. Don't let $39 get between you and a good one. Hit the button now. I'll see you on the good side of life. You don't yet realize how good your life can be, but you will in just a few seconds. Hit the button now. Bye now.